in out of the Middle East is very, very important and stunning and really sad. And we'll tell you all about that in just a second. Let me put a shout out right now, if I could, guys, for Giant miningcore.com. That's giantminingcore.com. Copper inventories are scraping a 15-year low just as Washington floats import tariffs. The U.S. growth machine runs on metal it barely controls. Every EV line, data center build, and power grid upgrade risk choking on supply gaps, cost spikes, project stalls, and even investors eating the squeeze. Miss the window, you're funding someone else's margin. But Giant Mining Core out of Majuba Hill District of Nevada is built for this moment. 9,800 acres of highway, rail, power, gas, and cyber already on the claims. And recent core drilling sliced a 170-foot zone, averaging 0.4% copper, crowned by a 10-foot streak of 4.4 grades. Majors are paying billions for the opportunity. And AI-driven model just lit up. New conductors and independent engineers are already building resource estimates while rivals are drowning in their red tape. Phase 2 rigs roll this quarter. Speed wins the super cycle, and Majuba is built for speed. You want to dig deeper into giantminingcore.com? Go to, it's on the OTC at BFGFF in the United States or BFG in Canada. Find out how you can be an investor and gain the momentum of this opportunity. I'll put it in the link below. Please read the disclaimer about it as well. Now, Iranian authorities have just carried out a wave of arrest, multiple executions of people suspected of links to the Israeli intelligence agencies in the wake of the recent war between these two countries. It comes after the officials described as an unprecedented infiltration of Iranian security services by Israeli agents. And authorities are suspecting that the information fed to Israel played a part in a series of high-profile assassinations during the conflict of the 12-day war. This included the targeted killings of senior commanders from the elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Also, 14 nuclear scientists were also killed, which Iran attributes to operatives of the Israeli Mossad intelligence agency working inside their country. Shaken by the scale and the precision of these killings, authorities have been targeting anyone suspected of maybe working with the foreign intelligence of Israel, saying it is for the sake of national security they're executing these Iranian people. But many fear this is also a way to silence the dissidents and to tighten the controls over the population, because the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is about to lose control of his country. So he's now brutally arresting and executing people to strike fear in the regime, the power of the regime over the populace. During that 12-day conflict, Iranian officials executed 3 people accused of spying for Israel. And on Wednesday, just one day after the ceasefire, 3 more individuals were executed on similar charges, but no proof for the basis. Officials have since announced the arrest of hundreds of suspects across the entire country on accusations of espionage. State television has aired alleged confessions from several detainees. Of course, they were tortured and threatened into these confessions, purportedly admitting to collaboration with Israeli intelligence. And human rights groups, activists have expressed fears over the latest developments, citing Iran's long-standing practice of extracting forced confessions and conducting unfair trials. There are concerns that more executions will follow. Iran's Ministry of Intelligence claims it is engaged in a relentless battle against what it calls Western and Israeli intelligence networks, including the CIA, Mossad, and MI6. And according to the Fars news agency, which is affiliated with the IRGC, since the beginning of Israel's attack on Iran in the 13th day of June, the Israeli spy network has become highly active inside the country. Fars news agency has reported that over the course of 12 days, Iran intelligence and security forces have arrested more than 700 Iranians linked to the network with Israel, they think. They're just panicking. Iran has told BBC Persian that they received warning text messages from Iranian intelligence ministries informing them their phone numbers had appeared on social media pages related to Israel, and they were instructed to leave these pages or face prosecution. The Iranian government has also stepped up pressure on journalists working for the Persian language media outlets abroad, including the BBC Persian and London-based Iran International and Manitou TV. According to Iranian International, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps detained the mother and father and brother of one of its TV presenters in Iran to pressure her into resigning over the channel's coverage of the Iranian-Israeli conflict. The presenter received a phone call from her father, prompted by security agents urging her to quit the job and warning of further consequences. In other words, they're going to kill us if you don't resign. After the conflict began, threats directed at BBC Persian journalists and their families have become increasingly severe. According to the journalists recently affected, Iranian security officials are contacting their families, have claimed that in a wartime context, they are justified in targeting family members as hostages in Iran. They have also labeled the journalists as traitors, a term meaning one who wages war against God, and a charge that under Iranian law can carry a death penalty. So, guys, what's happening is the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is freaking out. He is unbelievably stunned that his top 13 military personnel are dead and top 14 nuclear scientists are dead, and that his top nuclear facilities have been blown away, and that he alone sits by himself facing the wrath of a populace who are realizing that this Iranian revolutionary, the Iranian Revolution, this radical jihadist group who took over that country in 1979 is marching their country into a death spiral with the West, including Israel. The war they gambled on Israel using proxies has failed miserably, and they're taking it out on their own people. We're living in the end times. We're living in the last days. And certainly, I think the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's days are numbered by his own people. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. We're living, guys, in the last days. Are you saved?